What's up, y'all? Your boy King David in the motherfucking building, man. Salute to all the real boxing fans out there, man. You know what I mean? None of the fanboys, but the real boxing fans that support the sport. You know what I'm saying? If you're new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that sub button. And everybody go ahead and hit that like button on your way in if anybody come through. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to get my final thoughts on this whole Wilder Fury thing, man. This the biggest fight of the year, man. Well, start over, man. I did a whole live about Wilder Fury, man, a few days ago or whatnot, man. But I want to get my final little thoughts on it, man. This is just a really, really big fight. You know what I mean? This is the biggest fight of 2021, point blank period. And I actually been looking forward to this fight for a long, 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 long time now, man. It's gonna give us boxing fans some much needed closure on all this bullshit. You know what I mean? So we finally get to get a resolution here. My guy G Park in the building. What's going on with you, G? Appreciate that light. You know what I mean? Appreciate that, fam, bam. But yeah, we're gonna be in here. We ain't gonna be in here too long, man. I'm finna come back on maybe a little bit later, you know what I'm saying, after the fight and all that. And then we gotta talk a little bit about Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford, because they had their little press conference today. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get my final thoughts on Wilder Fury, and I'm probably gonna come back on in a little bit, maybe a few hours, and then talk about the way, the press conference for Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford. I may do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's worth doing at this point. I gotta go back and watch it and shit like that. But anyway, man, yeah, man, back on point. So yeah, man, this is just a big fight, man. It's a big fight for the year, man, and there's just a lot surrounding this fight, man. One thing when I did it live, man, I didn't really talk about, just the heavy cloud, over Tyson Fury and all the the cheating allegations and shit like that that's been going on. Tyson Fury, well, recently there was they had a little situation regarding the gloves. Apparently, Tyson Fury had shown his gloves, and apparently it was some horsehair gloves that went to expect it, and it was horsehair. And the Nevada State Athletic Commission actually approved the shit, and it's just really low on padding. It's just a really suspect looking ass glove. What would be anybody who rock with me, I done boxed before in the past and shit like that, man. And I know what a glove is supposed to feel like, man. I ain't ever fuck around with no glove like that. That them gloves look hella sus, but even though, despite that, they are legal according to the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and possibly more athletic commissions would also approve that glove. I don't see how, because the shit look hella sus, but it is what it is. In any case, the resolution was Deontay Wilder going and getting the MX. He got his own MX Everlast glove, which is similar to the one that Fury is going to be wearing. You know what I'm saying? To kind of even the playing field. That ended up being the resolution to the issue. But, if I'm Deontay Wilder, I hope that he was at least training, like maybe bare knuckle and thing like that. Because, not everybody's equipped to throw punches bare knuckle, you have to have strong hands, and not everybody's hands have that type of makeup. Some of the best fighters have very brittle hands. Floyd Mayweather being one of them. And I think Deontay Wilder even at one point mentioned that he had hurt his hands a few times using gloves. So hopefully that won't be an issue, even though Wilder is going to be using one of those MX Everlast gloves that are similar to Fury's. So I think it's just going to be very interesting. This is just going to be a very interesting action-packed fight, man. As far as the weigh-in was concerned, man, Tyson Fury came in weighing almost 280 pounds, which is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like 280 pounds, man. This dude it decided to balloon all the way up to, in order to make up for the punch resistance of Deontay Wilder, So I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. IU in the building. What's going on with your fam? Make sure you smash that like button one time for your boy. He says, and he 20 pounds heavier. That's gonna be a major problem for Fury. I think Fury is just in it for a check. I ain't gonna say he in it for a check. I'm gonna say I feel like Fury's game plan is all or nothing. I feel like he's coming in to try to knock Wilder out, and it needs to be done within the first 5 rounds. If he's not able to knock Wilder out within the first 5 rounds, he's going to lose. I think he's betting it all because his conditioning, for me, if you 280 pounds, your conditioning isn't going to last through a 12-round fight. Now, granted, maybe Tyson Fury is just a freak like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe them PEDs, you know, got him riding high and somehow he's able to make it through 12 rounds. But I don't see a normal person being able to move that type of weight around like that and be successful with it. You know, it don't seem natural. It don't seem normal. You know, like that's a lot of fucking weight. You know what I mean? 270 pounds, even for a 6'9" guy. You know what I mean? So it's I think Tyson Fury's strategy is to just bear it all, to just go straight ahead, to just come forward, you know, and try to knock Wilder out. And if he can't do it, I think he's gonna be ass out of luck. Those are my thoughts on that, you know. But and then you have Deontay Wilder, who also came in at like 240 pounds or something like that. And you know, 240 pounds, I think he in the last fight he was about 230. So he gained maybe about 8 pounds or something in this fight, which is, you know, which is not bad, you know what I mean? 8 pounds is not a bad amount of weight to come in at, especially when it's been about a year training and things like that. You know, also when you get older, it's easier for you to pack on the weight. I think Wilder at this point is like 35. So, you know, and he's probably been doing a lot of like weightlifting and things like that. As a matter of fact, I think he said that he's been doing a lot of weightlifting. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think the weightlifting will help because Fury will not be able to use his weight as effectively as he did in the first fight. That weight room does make up for that, you know, those little inside fighting. That's why I was saying earlier, I think Wilder is going to, and just to talk a little bit about Wilder and what I think his approach is going to be. I think Wilder's approach, considering he's been doing weight training and he's been doing weightlifting and bulking up, I think his approach is to try to fight on the inside. I think we're going to see Wilder step inside the pocket and try to throw body shots and, you know, exchange on the inside. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I don't think we're going to see Wilder backing up and circling around Fury as much as we saw him do in the first and second fight. I think it's going to be more so Wilder on his front foot along with Fury looking to fight on the inside. I think it's going to be like a little back and forth kind of exchange kind of deal that's going to be happening, you know, which should be very entertaining for us to watch, you know. But I think that's what the weightlifting is about, you know. That weightlifting, that's exactly what it's about. It's about being able to fight inside and push your opponent up off of you and not letting your opponent wear you down because you got the strength to lift them up off of you. I hope he's been doing a lot of reps too, you know. But yeah, that's what this is looking like for me. You know, Deontay Wilder looks like he's in great shape. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury looks like Tyson Fury. He always look crazy, love handles and shit. You know what I mean? He always look like a soccer dad. So G-Pac could say, if Wilder sets up that hit stick, he wins easily and early. If he throws it recklessly like a previous fights, he gives Fury a chance to pick him off with a jab and clinching. Absolutely, man. That's well said. Well said, G. Parker. Yeah, man. He gotta be very strategic with that right hand. He has to mix in some other kinds of punches. And I feel like that's the game plan. And here's the thing I also wanted to address too, man. Here's the thing I also wanted to address. A lot of people out there feel like Wilder can't box, and I'm not really of the opinion of that. You know what I'm saying? People forget that Deontay Wilder is an Olympic bronze medalist. You don't get all the way to the Olympics and get a bronze medal if you ain't got no boxing ability. That just doesn't happen. I don't care how much power you got. It just don't happen. You only got 4 rounds. So unless he was knocking everybody out in the 4 rounds, you know what I'm saying, in the amateurs, which I'm pretty sure he wasn't, that means that for the most part, a lot of his fights had to go to decision. So I think for Deontay Wilder, he has boxing ability. I think the skills are there. I think what the issue is he's been too reliant on his right hand, and he's foregone all of the other skills that he's used prior to that in the past. So as a result, this fight has kind of forced him to to me, reach into his bag and kind of do other things, because he has to be ready when that right hand don't work. You know, he has to have that left hook to the body, the left hook to the head, that double left hook. He got to have little other little punches in the bag as well in order to compensate. You know, so I think we're gonna. I think no matter what the result is tonight, man, I think we're gonna get a completely different result than we got in the second fight. I think it's gonna be a completely different fight. If anything, I think it's gonna look closer to the first fight. You know what I'm saying? Than it does for the second fight. But I'll tell you this, and I'll say this. I said it in my live, and I'll say it again. If Tyson Fury does not look like, if Tyson Fury doesn't steamroll Wilder like he did in the second fight, if he's not able to do the same things to Wilder in this fight that he did in the second fight, he's gonna look hella suspect. He just is. He's gonna look suspect as hell. You know, he's gonna look suspect as hell. And then another thing that's not talked about as well is the fact that why did Wilder have to chase him down a year, 2 years in order to get this fight done? I mean, we could have had this fight in July of last year. You know what I mean? The fight kept getting pushed back because Fury kept trying to find new ways in order to delay the fight. Fury kept trying to find ways in order to get up out of the fight, when in all actuality, he could have just fought this dude and got him up out of the way, especially if he thought it was an easy fight. You know what I'm saying? My guy Manny G is in the building. What's going on with you, fam? Bam. Make sure you smash that like button one time for your boy. My guy says skills pay the bills. I agree with you, Manny G. I agree with you. Skills indeed do pay the bills most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. Not all the time, because we already know. Not all the time. Somebody get that one punch in on you, it don't really matter. But most of the time, skills do indeed pay the bills. And I'm still leaning towards Tyson Fury being probably the more skilled fighter, but not by much. I think that Deontay Wilder in his own right is a very skilled boxer. I think that Deontay Wilder can box. I just think that he hasn't really shown that recently because he's been too reliant on his right hand. And I think the strategy in this fight is to bring out more of his actual boxing ability. I think we're going to see some of that amateur pedigree come out in this fight. Deontay Wilder has been forced to do things that he probably hasn't had to do in a long time, you know. But I think Deontay Wilder definitely got skills, and we're going to see it. We're going to see it tonight, man, you know. And I'm, and just in case you were wondering, I'm riding with my pick. Manny G say, okay, let me go to the next comment. Manny G say, Wilder landed some good shots in the second fight. Fury took him well. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Fury did indeed take him well. But those shots that he was landing was few and far between, you know. They were few and far between. And Wilder, for the most part, landed those shots off balance, you know. And then I don't know, Wilder just looked shaky altogether to me in that second fight, man, you know. But I mean, it could be due to a lot of things. It was one thing I was talking about the other day. I forget who I was talking to, but I was talking about the other day how, you have to be used to fighting like punching up, you know. Deontay Wilder 6'7". He probably not used to punching people that are taller than him, you know. I used to box back in the day, and one thing my coach used to always get on my ass about is throwing punches down, because he was like, man, you a shorter dude, man. Are you fighting midgets? You know, you throw them punches up. You throw punches up. But I'm pretty sure for Deontay Wilder, it was the opposite, because he was probably always the taller guy. So he never really had to worry about throwing punches going down, you know what I'm saying, or going up. So that probably played a role in that, you know. Maybe that was one of the things that kept him off balance. But he looked very off balance in that first fight. For real, for real. You know? But again, I just think we're gonna see a different Deontay Wilder in this fight, man. I think we're gonna see a Wilder that we never really seen before. One that's gonna show some real boxing ability, like boxing. I think we're gonna see some boxing from Wilder. I don't think we're gonna just see pure violence or anything like that. I think we're gonna see just boxing, you know. And I look forward to it, man. I look forward to it, man. I think at the end of the day, we are gonna see a knockout. I think it's gonna be a knockout one way or another. You know what I mean? I don't see Tyson Fury to me is coming. He's coming. He's gonna come. Either he's gonna get knocked. I think he said this before too. Either he's gonna get knocked out or he's gonna knock Wilder out. And I think he knows that that's the only way that he can win. For Fury, if you got to think about how it is for Fury. For Fury, he's like, I can't go 12 rounds with this dude because this dude's power carries all the way to the 12th round. So even if I get 7 rounds in on him, 8 rounds in on him, he could catch me in one shot and put me out. And at that point, I'm fatigued. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I'm fatigued. At that point, I can't get up. So Tyson Fury figures, well, seeing as how I can't go, my guy Terry Smoot is in the building. What's going on with you, Terry Smoot? Salute to you, my guy, in the motherfucking building. Yeah, man, we doing some final thoughts on Wilder Fury 3. I ain't gonna be on here too long, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, um, hold on a sec. Mandy G says, do you think Wilder being 38 pounds a positive or negative? I don't think it'll help him or hurt him. I'm indifferent on it. You know, now he gained some muscle and the muscle will help him because again, he'll be able to, I think he plans on fighting on the inside. He's not going to let Fury back him up. He knows that Fury is going to be trying to back him up. So I think he plans on exchanging with him on the inside. So I'm pretty sure that that's the plan in case Fury decides to come full force. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll help him in that aspect, but it'll take away from the fluidity of his punches, probably make him slow down a little bit, but I don't think by much, considering that he's been probably training with this weight for the last year. Wilder's had a lot of time to kind of prepare and really like refine his skills at this weight, It doesn't really look like he did any weight cutting recently. It doesn't look like he's done anything recently. If you recall, we were looking at pictures of Deontay Wilder from like 6 months ago. He was looking almost the same, like almost equally as buff as he does now. So I think he's been kind of working with this weight and with that type of physique for a while. So I think he's going to be pretty used to it. And I heard in the interview too that he was saying that his power, he did it in a way where he didn't lose any of his speed, and the power is always going to be there. So he put on the muscle so he could be able to fight on the inside. I think that's what that's about. He's not going to let Fury bully him. He knows Fury's coming full force. Fury's coming with his head down. Fury's all or nothing. That's Fury's strategy, all or nothing. Either he's gonna knock Wilder out or he's gonna get knocked out, and he knows that. He knows that he can't go 12 with Wilder. He knows that, so he's not betting on that at all. That's why Fury is ballooning all the way up to almost 300 pounds, because he can't fight 12 rounds with 300 pounds of weight. He knows that he can't do that, but he also knows that even if he's at a lower weight, he can't fight 12 rounds. At a lower weight because he's in danger of getting knocked out. Because Wilder's power carries all the way to the 12th round. So Fury is like, I'm either gonna get it done in the first 5 rounds or I'm not gonna get it done. So he's gonna come. He's gonna come. I believe him when he say he's gonna come. He's gonna come. G Parker says, Manny G, I don't think weight matters, but Wilder is mentally prepared to win. Physically, he's capable, but can he stay focused on the process of what's going on in the ring? That's a good question, G. I think he'll be able to stay focused. I think he'll be able to do what he needs to do in order to, you know what I'm saying? I think he'll be able to do it. Wilder has a pretty good boxing IQ. You know what I'm saying? He really does. You know, it's funny that a lot of people say he can't box and that he's dumb and that sort of thing. But I done seen Wilder make in-fight adjustments. I done seen Wilder lose eight rounds back to back, make a quick adjustment, catch somebody slipping and knock them out. Like, that doesn't happen by accident. A lot of people are gonna say that's a lucky punch or that's a lucky this and lucky that, but there's no such thing as a lucky punch. Them punches are set up, timed. You know what I mean? There's a lot of thought that goes into those punches. The placement of them, the timing of them, the power that goes into the punch, the mechanics of it. I mean, everything got to be on point in order to knock somebody out like that. You know? I like his saying when he say you got to be on point for 12 rounds, but I only got to be on point for 12 seconds, or what is it, 2 seconds or something like that. Wilder say. I think that's very accurate, and I think Fury knows that better than anybody. Fury knows that better than anybody, that the longer the fight goes, the more in danger he is of getting knocked out. So because of that, he's got to try to end the fight early. He's got to try to end the fight early. He's got to put Wilder on his back foot. He's got to throw a lot of punches. He's got to be relentless in his attack. He's got to bob and weave. He's got to try to avoid the right hand as best as he can. But because he has that extra weight on, he should be able to absorb it better early on. Shouldn't hurt him as bad because he's literally, I mean, if you think about the weight, man, Tyson Fury is 40 pounds heavier than Wilder right now. That extra 40 pounds really helps things, man. It really does. People don't realize that. That 40 pounds really helps when you taking a right hand from somebody. So, and Fury knows that. Fury is going to be coming. He's going to be trying to get this thing done in 5 rounds. So it's going to be up to Wilder to be able to weather the storm, hope that his training to fight on the inside will work. It looks pretty good from the training, but will he be able to do it? He has the skills. I'm pretty sure he does have the skills, simply just from his amateur pedigree. But can he put it to practice at the highest level? Y'all mark my words. If he's able to make it out of the first 5 rounds of this fight, Tyson Fury's in trouble. If this fight goes past 5, Tyson Fury's in trouble. And I think it will go past 5. I think it goes past 5, and I think Wilder stops him in about 8. Round 8. I give it round 8. That Wilder KOs him. Because by that time, Fury will be slowing down. Fury will be huffing and puffing. Wilder will be gaining momentum because Fury will be wearing down at that point. I mean, everything that I'm talking about really lines up, because if you think about it, I mean, there's been so many reports about Tyson Fury not really training for this fight, not really focused for this fight, not really training. And one thing about training is when you're not training, you know, training, you have conditioning training and then you have skills training. You know, your skills training are like when you sharpen up your skills, your punches, your combinations, things like that. You know, that's very helpful, you know, for boxers to stay sharp, be able to throw counter punches on the dime and things like that. Like that, those things help. But your conditioning, that's really that's the most important part of training for most boxers, because you got to be in good shape in order to go 12 rounds, and you got to be what they say. I think it was. I feel like I was watching a Rocky movie when I heard this shit, bro. Yeah, don't clown me for watching a Rocky movie, nigga. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. But I feel like I was watching a Rocky movie when the dude said you got to train. You got to, for every round that you got to do, you got to train like 10 of them. So if you in a 12 round fight, you got to train for 120 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So Fury's been lacking in his training If Fury's been lacking there in his training, it bites him in the ass the worst with his conditioning. That's where it bites him in the ass the worst. But that's also probably why, he hasn't been training, because he understands that if he's going to win this fight, it can't go past 5 rounds anyway. So he might as well focus on his strength, his power, his ability to punch, his ability to hurt Wilder, his ability to cut the ring off. He might as well focus on those things, because the fight needs to end within the first 5 rounds. Terry Smoot Jr. says, but Russell Mora is the referee for this fight. I suspect dirty play. Yeah. Funny how they did a little last minute switch, right, Terry? Funny how they went ahead and switched it last minute. I think one thing that everybody would have to agree with, right? And if you don't agree with this, then you either, you're just you're a guy who just, maybe you're a Fury fanboy, or you're probably just a racist, you know what I'm saying, in general. You know what I'm saying? Or you just really don't like Deontay Wilder. Usually those people go hand in hand. But I think everybody can agree that Tyson Fury is a very dishonest dude, man. Just in general, man. The dude has lied about so many different things, man. It's not even funny. Dude tested positive for PEDs. Let's not forget all that. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget that he threatened the farmer, Martin Carefoot, was going to testify against him in court. And all of a sudden, the dude said he was getting death threats. Let's not forget the sparring partner of Tyson Fury, Nicholas Asbury. You know what I'm saying? Going in and looking at Tyson's glove and seeing that his glove wasn't padded. And you know what I mean? The fact that he's even wearing those horsehair gloves, like that shit is shady in the first place. And then let's just look at how he fights. The dude is one of the most dirtiest fighters that you'll ever see ever. You know what I'm saying? The dude, everything that this dude does is dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a part of boxing, you know what I'm saying? But it's still dirty. Like, the shit is very underhanded and just very dirty. Hitting behind the head and then wrestling and then throwing your head down, all kind of shit. G Parker says, Boxer Die. What I'm curious about is how much power does Wilder have in his left hand? Yeah, I think Wilder got a good left hook. I think he got power in both hands. He definitely got power in both hands, but he's only been using that right hand. The right hand is probably aesthetically pleasing to Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Like, he probably just likes the idea of knocking people out with a right hand and that being his signature, So he kind of got to get over himself, it seems like, because he does have a good left hook. He does have other tools. Again, this dude was a bronze medalist in the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get all the way to an Olympic bronze medal and not have no type of boxing ability. So he has other punches and other things in the arsenal. He just needs to use them. And I feel like that was definitely one of the goals in training, to polish and bring out those other boxing skills that Deontay Wilder has, to work on fighting on the inside, probably some dirty boxing. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Wilder doing some of the things that Tyson Fury does. Hitting below the belt and hitting behind the head and, all kind of little dirty shit. They say you got to fight fire with fire, right? You got to come to a motherfucking a gunfight with a gun, right? You can't come with no goddamn slingshot. You know what I mean? So this is just gonna be real interesting, man. It's gonna be real interesting. I think in this fight we're gonna see why Tyson Fury has postponed this fight for a full year, because that's exactly what he did. We're gonna see why this fight has been postponed from a year per Tyson Fury. I think we're gonna see a new Deontay Wilder, and I'm predicting an 8th round KO. An 8th round KO. You know what I'm saying? I like Wilder's weight. I think that he's at a weight where he should be able to get the most out of it. You know, he's at a weight where most athletes, professional athletes for his height, are usually at. You know, Fury's really heavy, which tells me his game plan is all or nothing. It tells me that he's coming straight in, or you know, either he's gonna knock Wilder out or he's gonna get knocked out. That's what that weight tells me. And he armed himself with weight in order to be able to take punches better. That's what that tells me. Terry Smoot says, I got Wilder in 8 as well. Yeah, Terry. Yeah, man. You know, I think it's definitely going down, man. Again, I think we get a different Wilder. I think we're gonna see some things that we've never seen before from him. I think we're gonna see Tyson Fury. I think if Tyson Fury does win, he wins before the 5th round because he would have somehow gotten to Wilder, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Armed himself with weight, yeah, man. It's facts. He armed himself with weight, man. You know what I'm saying? If you know somebody can punch, the best thing you could do is come in heavy, you know? And if you're a heavyweight, you can come in at any weight that you want to. Tyson Fury is 40 pounds heavier than Deontay Wilder, man. Where'd I do that at? What other division would that work in? You know what I'm saying? Well, I take that back because Canelo does that all the time when he hydrates all the way up 30 and 40 and 50 pounds over the fucking weight. So I'll take that back. Terry Smooth says, can 270-pound man last 12 rounds? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If Tyson Fury is able to go 12 rounds with all that fucking weight on him, man, something's wrong with that picture, man. Something seriously wrong with that picture. 270. He was 277. That was like with clothes on. So maybe 276. You know. Something tells me that he's gonna be eating heavy today. So by the time he step in the ring, he probably gonna be about 280, 285. You know, that's what I'm feeling like right now. You know, man. But yeah, man, that's my final prediction, man. I'll definitely be back on after the fight, either tonight or tomorrow. And you know, we'll talk about it then. But you know, that's me right now. If you're new to the channel, man, make sure you hit the sub button. Everybody, make sure y'all smash that like button one time for your boy. But I'm about to get up on out of here, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all till next time. Peace.